So hello everyone, this is AetherNightmare and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm dressed like this because I kind of forgot pants for the magic class, so we are going full robed today. So it is time for Astrologian. I needed to equip some magic gear, kind of forgot a few sets in the process, and here we are. So it should be here in Ishgard. So we can probably just pop right out of the inn. But Astrologian is going to be our new healing class. I think it's the final healing class. I don't think there's any other healer classes after this, since I already have White Mage and Scholar. Right, don't need to open that door. So let us see. Where would you be? Love for Harmony? I don't think that's it. Should be up here. At the Astrologian? Perhaps? Maybe? Could have sworn it was in Ishgard. If not, it's going to be in Kurthus. Like at one of these spires. This is off to a great start. Love for Harmony. I don't think that's it. I don't see a class here. Now I do. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking in my head like, it's not going to plan. But it turns out it's just being difficult. Greetings and welcome to the Astrologicum. Perhaps you were drawn by fate to this place of learning, or perhaps you wish to know more of fate itself. Do you wish to know more of fate? Do you wish to do a holistic? A Hitsuzen? Then you are wise to come hither, for in the stars are written the fates of every woman and man of Heidelin. So no non-binaries in the stars? It was there that the stars, I read that someone would call upon the Athenium to this very day, someone who would play an important role in my own life. Ah, but my apologies. Even the most skilled reader cannot scry a name from the heavens. Would you be so kind as to give me yours, so that I might know who to be as my newest protege? Sure, her name's Ren. Ren, well, was not expecting that. But what is a name but an attempt by our begetters to wield power over the lives of the sons and daughters? Lives whose paths have already been foretold. In a sense, that is. Gee, it's almost like in my own culture, that's why we get to pick our own names after we become adults. My name is Jennequin. Oh dear. Jennequinard? De Duriander. If I'm an Astrologian for the Holy See, remember that name, for it shall echo forevermore in the annals of Ishgardian history. Unpronounced for all time. Well, I will once I put it there. Once we put it there. Stairway to the Heavens. Now where to begin? I suppose I could consult my divining deck for an answer, but that would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Very well, at the beginning it is. Pretty sure he means tarot cards. Astrology, or the reading of the stars, is a branch of astrological science which originated from a distant Sharlayan. There have been astrologians in Ishgard for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 3 centuries ago when Adonal the Younger learned that the movement of the stars could be used to foresee the movements of the Dravanian horde that the field became popular. Since then, what was once a single science has bifurcated into 2 similar yet ultimately different schools of learning. The Sharlayan school of astrology and the Ishgardian school, the former placing a focus on tapping celestial aether and transforming it into beneficial magics, or astromancy, the latter specializing solely in determining the actions of our dragon enemies to the north. I am a student of the former, the only student of the former here in Ishgard. Makes me raise an eyebrow that you've had such a need to emphasize it. And have been actively seeking a partner with whom to conduct my research. Let's just say that my fellow astrologians have been less than approving of my path, but that is simply because they're afraid of what they do not know. Once they do know of how Sharlayan astrology can benefit the sea and its soldiers, They will feel foolish for ever having doubted me. Us. You will be joining me, will you not? Walk the path that has been laid out before you, instead of stubbornly denying your fate, postponing the inevitable. Anyway, quest accepted. I see you wasted no time in making your decision. Like I always say, the stars are never wrong. Alas, even a lifetime of study and training cannot unlock all the secrets written in the stars. Myself, I have been a student of the astronomic arts for more summers than I can count, and I still often misread the signs shown to me in the skies. Though my readings are far more accurate now than they were when I attended the Athenaeum in Sharlayan. Not the Sharlayan, mind you, the colony that once thrived in the Durranian hinterlands. I can recall a time, like it was yesterday. The first 6 moons, I was not even allowed to touch the deck of 60, let alone conduct a reading with the major arcana. Most of my time was spent in the scriptorium transcribing old tomes on astrological fundamentals such as the 6 elemental houses. Divine duplicity, class tropicality, house modality, and popularity, dignity versus detriment. I abhorred the task, and would tirelessly pester my instructors as to when I might actually be granted the opportunity to weave a spell or perform a reading. It wasn't until the end of the 6th moon that I realized that the transcribing had prepared me with the essentials I would need for those very things. The positions of the celestial bodies within the 6 elemental houses, and their relation to the major and minor arcana of the deck of 60, therein lie the secrets to tapping the etherical power locked in the heavens. And soon, you too will become privy of these sects. Or secrets. Sorry, I was looking at something else while I was reading. But not this day, no. I would have you transcribe much old tomes like I was forced to. No, the task I have for you is much more interesting. You see, I'm expecting the arrival of a very important guest. My old mentor from the Studium is granted to make a journey from the old world to Ishgard and speak with the Holy See regarding the implementation of Sharlayan astrological techniques in the city-state defense. Alas, the professor and his party are now fully 7 days late in arriving, and I have begun to worry for their safety. I should be much obliged, therefore, if you would inquire of the Astrologians here at the Athenaeum if they have heard aught. Peeps late, go find him. Beg pardon, if the professor is so important to me, why haven't I asked them myself? Let's just say that the other Astrologians and I do not always see eye to eye on everything, or, in fact, anything. So you're kind of the outcast of this group, huh? Why would Lord Janiquard think if I had information on the whereabouts of a handful of unbelievers from across the blood-brine sea? I'm an astrologan, not a fortune-teller. They're different. I simply cannot look to the stars and scry the location of the Viscount's guests, unless his guests are dragons, that is. I suppose if anyone knew aught, it would be the observatorium. Well, here at the Athenaeum are but students dedicated to research. Those with any influence in our field are assigned to the astroscope. You think dragons would actually be more difficult to scry from, since it's kind of hinted that they came from outer space as, like, aliens? Therefore, wouldn't their life stream be attuned to a different planet? Question: if we eventually travel the stars and colonize planets, or just deep space travel in general, do you scribe based off of your sign born on Earth, or on the planet/colony you currently occupy? What if you were born on a colony but now live in Earth? Do you scribe based on the colony? Is it like a whole repositioning, or do you scribe based on Earth? I know it's not an actual science, but seriously, these are the type of things in actual science that you need to ask. Let me guess. The good Lord Janiquard said he saw you in a vision, and that the stars told him that you were to study Sharlayan astrology with him. Am I close? You must be the 100th of his little pets to pester me this week alone. I harbor no ill will towards ignorant unbelievers, unlucky enough to find themselves caught up in his talk of stars and fortunes. But you may tell that sorry excuse of an astrologan for the upteenth time that I have heard naught concerning his imaginary friends from faraway Sharlayan. Just do not tell the Viscount. I called him such a sorry excuse for an astrologan, alright? Okay, just the same thing. One more person? Behind the bookshelf, maybe? No, yes, upstairs, downstairs. Might be outside. Janicord is still waiting for word of his missing Charlians instead of actually making an effort to find him, is he? Of course he is. Is it any wonder that the nearly 15 years since his return from Charlian, his skill in astromancy has remained unchanged? Any wonder that he has never yet managed to convince a single peer of the value of the Charlian school? I mean, technically there is a Charlian magic school. I'm currently equipped as it as a scholar. He's a privileged little sprat who spends more time gazing at the stars in young maiden's eyes than actually trying to read the ones above his head. All right, you tell the poor man. I just returned from the observatorium, and one night at the communal feasting hall, happened to overhear Chief Astrologian Forlamont speaking with one of his aides regarding Charlian. He was visibly upset, and I wasn't about to risk my career over something I care so little about, so I merely put my head down and ate my beet soup. But that is all I know, and you did not hear it from me. Master Forlamont, and I thought this day could not get any worse. Oh, no, I'm not suggesting meeting you in any way has been unfortunate. It's just that, it may not be in our best interests to be seen together as of yet. There are certain people in the sea who do not approve of my studies. Couple that with the fact that you are an outsider and an unbeliever, and an aura, and, well, people may have come to the wrong conclusions. We must act with caution until we can prove our intentions are just and for the good of all Ishgard, so I must ask you to travel to the observatorium alone and meet me there. I guess you'll follow semi-closely behind, eh? Clearly it's down here, similar to where Dragoon was. I really, really, really wish this had a crystal. My gear set is absolutely underleveled for this, but that's fine, because I'm high enough level nothing will mess with me anyway. Ooh, says it wants me up higher than usual. I wonder how high. Tippy top, maybe? No. Not yet. I can come in through the roof, though. I know not which is worse, the blasphemous wretch who mocks the very principles from which our field is sown, or the bumbling unbeliever who blindly follows him in hopes of gnawing on scraps he drops in his wake. Bren, allow me to apologize again for not accompanying you here. As for our business with the Chief Astrologian, you may leave the talking to me. I'm pretty sure he left the talking to himself. Jenna Quinard, I might have known it would be you. Who else would be so indecent as to drag an outsider into the holy place of observation? I have been here numerous times before. You've always had an unhealthy obsession with the foreign. Wow. 'Tis why you are worthless to the Athenium now, as you were when you returned from the heathen city a decade and a half since. But the stars, they can serve us in other ways than merely revealing where the Horde will attack. Their powers can be tapped. The Aether within can be used for... The Aether should be left be. Has history taught you naught of the folly of the Nimians? The Amdapori? The Maki? Don't know if I've heard of the Maki yet. I know the other ones, though. Mine uncle, the Charlians, have been wielding astromancy for ages without disrupting etherical balance. This power, combined with Ishgardian astrology, could be what is needed to turn the tide of this 1,000-year conflict. Moreover, I have reason to believe that our masters at the Vault agree, as they've given me their blessing to continue my research. I did not come to trade barbs with you, Nuncle. Nuncle? I'm trying to think what an uncle would be. Uncle mixed with what now? N would make me think nephew, but I don't think it can be both. Let us save that for another time. I'm here because it's come to my attention that you may have Been informed as to the whereabouts of Professor Mace and his party from Charlian. For someone who says he's not here to trade barbs, you've been quite generous in your dealing with them today. If it means you will leave and allow me to return to my work, then I'd be more than happy to let you know what information found its way to my desk from yesterday morn. Okay, that's bothering me so much. I gotta... What's a nuncle? Nuncle, an archaic or dialect word for uncle. Oh, it's just old. It's just an old word for uncle. Okay. Serpent Reaver sightings and foul weather prevented the professor's ship from entering the Strait of Multhor, where they would have made their way to the Maiden and into Kurthus. After detouring around the south of Vilbrand, they finally disembarked at Vesper Bay, where they took the land route along the Royal Allegan Sunway to the Black Shroud. It is there, it seems, that they lost their way. A lost Astrologian. Ha! It's at my morning reading predicted. Dalamund was detriment in the House of Spire while we ascended over the ecliptic. Words. We had an eclipse last night, but I missed it because it was at 3 a.m. Ren, you must journey to the Black Shroud and assist Professor Mace. Allow me to introduce you to Quimperane. He is my personal manservant and shall accompany you. He is not one for conversation, but his sword arm is among the best in all the pillars. Since you're going to need a tank, you're going to be squishy. He should see you safe if any danger were to befall you, and something tells me danger lurks on the horizon. It's a pleasure to serve you. I shall make haste to Quarry Mill and await you there. He talks to me, maybe he just don't like talking to you. I know not. Oh, you said that already. Alright, Quarry Mill it is. It's like I know what a grunkle is. A great uncle. But I've never heard nuncle before. Not even in older texts. Maybe it's more region specific. I have questioned the residents of this hamlet and learned a party of oddly dressed outsiders passed through not a bell ago. It should not prove overly difficult to find them now, but before we begin, might I ask a moment of your time? I would not dare utter ill of my master, but his recent fixation with finding a protege, I believe it ill-considered. This passion, however pure, has left him with more than one enemy within the astrological community. Lord Farlamont has seen to this. I fear not only for how his name might be sullied, but for his life. I beg of you, please do not drag him any further down into the quagmire. Let him quietly dabble in his dream, but let it remain that, a dream. No good will come of encouraging him. It will only hurt the Viscount and his family. You must remember that while I serve Lord Jeniquard, it's his uncle, the Count, who employs me. Now as for the task at hand, I suggest we find the wayward travelers and hurry back to our respective hearths. I shall lead. Might I ask that you take the rear and see that none might take us unawares? Makes it seem like we're gonna have a battle relatively soon, but I don't think I've been given any actual Astrologian equipment as of yet. I don't think I have the stone. This is not the right way. I need to go... Yeah, I'm going way too far south. I don't need to warp necessarily. Let's go and... led to the wrong direction. Why? I was thinking in my head like, this is way too far. Because it is. Here-ish. There you are. Grandfather. We got a squabble. We got ourselves a squibble squabble. I don't know if this would last 7 days, though. Especially with the forest rangers. These are the Charlands we seek, and it appears they found themselves some trouble. Unhand my grandfather. Ah, feisty. We'll fetch a fine price for that one from the pleasure barge captains. There's my stone. My future stone. It's like it's never done that before. The soul has spoken. Just throw it, Gramps. I know what to do. I meant towards me. Grab the old man. The wizard types carry them on them all manner of begemmed baubles and golden trinkets. Begemmed, that's what it was. Begemmed baubles and gold trinkets. My dyslexia is bad. Up, or I'll toss you to the snakes. You want to see the old man again? You leave us the girl. Try anything and he's dead. You're making up the offer for later when we're right here? Wait! Bro, they are a small band. We can literally whoop butt from here. Grandfather's soul crystal. Why would he leave it here, surrendering any power he might have had to free himself from the bandits? Unless you were the one he saw in his reading before we left the old world. But that was more than a moon ago. My grandfather scried from the cards that he would service the brigade for countless souls to be passed to another. Might you be the other? The men of the forests are careless. Tracking them will be no difficult feat. I shall follow and strike before they have time to regroup in numbers. The stars have spoken and laid their path not before you, but before the adventurer here. You must take the soul of the Astrologian and place it near your heart. Listen to the tales of those who walked before you, and know their journeys as you do your own. As for the tools you require, and the knowledge needed to wield them, I, Lavena, shall see to those matters. You saw there was no fear in my grandfather's eyes when the bandits took him. That's because he's seen you come to his rescue. Our lives were written in the stars long before we trod upon this land. It's not by chance that you stand here today with the soul of the Astrologian in your hand. It is fate. Alright, soul of the Astrologian. The surface of this multi-aspected crystal are carved the myriad deeds of the Astrologians from eras past. We get our first star globe. A cowl. Oh, they give me a cowl. A better one, apparently, and some velveteen thighs. It's what I'm wearing, but better, I guess. But Astrologian has been unlocked. Starstruck. Let us equip that then. Oh. Oh no, do I not have any room? Let's see. What is this, level 55? Some of these I don't need anymore. What is this one? 58. I made it. It's good. But it's... that's a priest's crook, but I don't need that anymore. And I don't intend on keeping it. Let's put this in here. And then put that on here. We get our new roll. Let's go in here. Let's create Astrologian as its own class. Equip ourselves with maybe not the best gear. Maybe not. The That's a different outfit I don't intend to wear today. Oh, I see, because it doesn't have, it's still better than what I have on. But, yeah. Oof. We can put on a ring. Oops. Can have an earring. Anything else? A malachite ring. There. I can update it to this for now, and we get a new symbol. The Arcana gauge. Using the actions Astral Draw and Umbral Draw, oh, so it's going to be like Black Mage, will replace Play 1, Play 2, and Play 3 with the respective Arcanum, which will be represented in the Arcana gauge. Don't know what that means yet, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, good lord. We have so many new abilities and difficulties ahead. Skills, I just got absolutely blasted with skills. I don't know where Revive went, if I have it yet. Ascend. Resurrects target to a weakened state. Okay, so we don't have regular Resurrect, we have Ascend. I'll put these two here together then, where I usually stick them. Izuna usually goes over here. Repose, if I ever use it. Restores target HP. Reduces cast time for spells. Okay, that sounds different. Unaspected damage with the potency of 150. That's a usual. This must be Cure 1, Cure 2. Yeah, Benefic and Benefic 1 and 2. Target HP. Deals unaspected damage over time. That is our poison spell. Restores own HP and HP of all nearby party members. That is AoE healing. Getting better at this. I'd like to think. And oh dear. What is this? Astral Draw. Draws the balance, the arrow, and the spire from your divining deck. Restores 20% of max MP upon execution. Changes the balance to play 2 to end change 3. Oh, this is going to be like its own extra special thing, isn't it? Kinda to the point. I'm curious if I even want some of these in here still. We don't need to send right there because I have that there. I'm curious how I want this laid out. If I want one of these to be completely grid-based or roll-based, I should say, for divining actions. Yeah, I probably should have one that's like play 1, 2, 3. I like never use repose, so we can potentially move some stuff around. Unaspected damage over time. So 1, 2, 3. And whatever. Astral Draw. I need a spot for Astral Draw. Shoot. I really don't have Lightspeed needs to potentially go on the other one. Okay. Can put some of the other roll stuff here too. Just for now. Okay. Potentially functional grid. I've been a guide in these woods since my 10th name day, yet never have I encountered bandits of the likes of these. They're not of the 12's I should really also change these around too. I'm so used to Izuna being right here that it's going to mess me up if I change healers. I find it highly unlikely that a sparkling globe will suffice to protect you from a bandit's blade. Stay back. Leave the fighting to me. Fortune favors the bold. Now listen carefully, for we haven't much time. The star globe which you hold is both your sword and shield. It will grant you strength as well as protection, but most important of all, it will grant you insight into the current location of the stars, enabling you to channel the heavens' aether into your body for use of all manner of magics. The better attuned you become with the heavens and their malefic and benefic bodies, probably malefic and benefic, maleficent beneficial, the better the aether might be manipulated to bring succor, or pain. Ah, but you already know, the star globe is not the only tool an astromancer has at their disposal. Yes, the arcana, or more specifically, the 6 major arcana, play a defining role in what type of astrologan you'll become. Any layman will tell you that the cards can predict a man's future. This is both true and untrue. It's not the future that the card predicts, but the card influencing the man, so that a certain future becomes more attainable. Seeking to tell a man's fortune, you draw a card from your deck. Upon reading the card, you scry that the man will be victorious in a coming battle. What is it that brings this man his victory but aether tapped from one of the lower 6 heavens, granting the man strength, making it all that much easier for him to overcome his enemy? Of course, when the card is drawn, it is linked directly to the target's destiny as well as yours. Are you the one who will seek the man his fortune, or will you lead him to downfall? It all depends on your reading. Normally I would not dare cover so much in a first lesson, but it is my grandfather who has placed his life in your hands, and I'm not about to watch him have his throat slit because you cannot tell the face of an arcana from its back. We have 2 seemingly capable soldiers here to take the brunt of the bandits' blows. Allow them to carve a trail of carnage while you convince the stars to nudge the 2 in a direction favorable to my kin. I understand this must be a lot to digest, but if you are ever to become a capable astrologan, you must believe in the path laid out before you, and in your power to read it, follow it, and ultimately control it. Take some time to acclimate yourself to your new abilities, and let me know when you are ready. To begin. You have learned the astrologan actions to traits level 30. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under the character in the main menu. I see in your eyes that you are ready. Whether that actually makes you ready or not, only time will tell. Time, unfortunately, is something we no longer have in abundance. Let us take to the shadows and find out what the bandits are holding my grandfather. May the stars be our guide. Alright. Not that the bandits stand in the way of locating my grandfather. Let's see if we can figure out how this class works on the fly. This card is from my grandfather's deck. He's leaving us a trail to follow. Its power is now your own, Bren. Is that like my actual card? Like to use these skills down here? Your star is in dignity with a balance. There's 6 major arcana. We must find the other cards. Also running out of time to record this. Or maybe I have to spin the wheel first. Oop! I'm bound! Can't move. Maybe I get— oh, I do have to do this first. I see. So what's this do? I have no idea if that Hindered or helped? There's a card, though, over here. Your star is Dignity with the Arrow. And I see one over here, too. Damn it. Oh, for Pete's sake, no! He grabbed the card. Okay, where are we going? It does not help. Let's see. Okay, it's not up here. Let's be this way then. Oh, it functions like Ruin. I gotta hold still to cast. It's not like Ruin 2. I'm used to being able to run around. Bowl. Mole bowl. Honestly, I'm just seeing what sticks. I'll probably have time to actually read them later. I'm guessing they can either provide buffs or debuffs, depending on who you cast them on. Maybe the cards I get are random. I see. Each one turns into one of the cards on my deck, but I can't tell if it's Astral or Umbral. Maybe purple means Umbral. Now have the Spire. Guessing in here, maybe? No? Yes? Nope. You guys can kill it, I got a grandpa to find. Okay, it is here. Found him! Maybe it just depends on who I cast it on. Reduces damage taken by a party member herself by 10 seconds. Okay, so maybe don't accidentally cast that on them. You're also the tank, so I'll give that to you. that's different. Just guessing. Duty complete. I was not told there were to be 2 Astrologians. Enough of this. Gee, Charlene, how come you get 2 Astrologians? I'm Comperian, and under the employ of Lord Janiquard, I'm sent to escort you back to Ishgard. Are you hurt, my lord? Janiquard, you say? And where is my former student? His constant pestering is one of the reasons I agreed to make the long trip from the old world. I see none but Comperian and his adventurer. I too have seen no other. Just like you don't see the bandits until their knives are up our arses, but that is of no matter. It was all as the stars had foretold. I knew I'd be put in danger, but I went anyway. Yes, I saw the adventurer long before even setting foot on this accursed continent where the Arcana whispered and told me I would find a worthy successor of my soul crystal. And having witnessed how they eased into their new role, but mere moments after taking up the crystal globe and deck. You say that, but I have a lot of reading to do. Yes, I knew at once my reading was true, and that this adventurer was the Astrologian I'd been seeking, but now let us see if they have potential for greatness within them. Look to the skies, and there you will see 6 stars aglow in pale yellow. That is the bowl. I knew that the constellations that were up in the sky were actually related to this class. The constellation is thought to be the gate to the first heaven, the heaven which holds the world tree. Planted by the matron and nurtured by the keeper, the world tree is the source from which all life is said to have sprung. The trunk of the world tree, or the bowl, grants strength to the weak, allowing them to stand firm in the face of adversity. You've now opened that gate, and its power is yours to command. Oh god! Steam, why? I don't think it popped up, but still. I've never seen it do that before. Alert me to assail. A solid bowl represents a solid foundation. It's not a coincidence that this very constellation has risen to mid-heaven at this very moment. The moment of a new Astrologian's birth, and a steam sail. And to think, I saw all of this a moon ago. It seems I'm a better reader of fates than I thought. But I jest. It's been a long journey with more than its share of unexpected excitement. I'm an old man, and one does not need a deck of Arcana to see that my weary legs will not carry me much longer. Let us make haste to Ishgard so that we may give you an ungrateful Janiquard a proper upbraiding. The bowl blazes the welkin, unlocking the gate to the first heaven. Yes, my Steam's not even open right now. I don't know why it decided to alert me in-game like that. I don't have notifications turned on in that manner. Maybe it changed in a Windows update. Jennequad, 15 summers passed, and still the flippant clod I'd lost half of my hair tutoring, sending an adventurer to find the man you summoned halfway across Tidalin, always taking the easy route, and you wonder why you still haven't been able to open the second Heaven's Gate. Allow me to explain, Professor. You see, I was waiting here in case you made it to Ishgard before my manservant and Bren could locate you. Think of the confusion you had already here, only to find the Athenium empty. Well, how did you know I haven't opened all the gates? My grandfather is the greatest astrologian in all of Sharlayan. There is naught he doesn't know unless he doesn't wish to know it. You of all people should know that. Perhaps I was hasty in my decision to remain here and see to your training. Train me? You? But what of Professor Mace? Isn't that why he made the journey? My grandfather has already completed his task. He simply came to Ishgard out of curiosity to an old pupil, one who it appears he's wasted years on. What good is the studying if you don't apply it? Wasted? What are you implying, my lady? Ah, my dear Lavena, do you not see it, do you? Without Jennequad stumbling into my tutelage nearly 2 decades past, he never would have taken this adventure under his wing and sent them to us in his stead. It was all as the stars had planned. Roundabout way of doing it? Your soul crystal. Professor, this adventure has stolen your soul of the Astrologian. Ever the unobservant, Jan. This observer has stolen my crystal. Lavena would have read up some terrible fate for them. No, Bren is my successor. Something I mistakenly thought you might be, but even I cannot see every future, it seems. But do not despair. I have not given up on you completely. Despite your failings, you have tried your best to promote the Sharlayan school of astrology here in the den of fools who failed to see aught and all beyond the Dragon Star. I wish to see you continue that fight, and that is why I have bade Lavena to remain here to further your and this adventure's training. I wonder if the Dragon Star is literally like the dragon's home star, like their planet used to revolve around. Maybe 8.0? Does it that? I see. This is all rather overwhelming. Might I have some time to consider your words? No. You either continue your training with me and your protege, or you crawl back to obscurity. I shall give you both several turns of the sun to study the basics of Sharlayan astrology. It should not be so hard for you, Jennequard, considering you've had a substantial head start. Once you've committed to the basics of memory, then return to here. In the meantime, I'll be traveling Eorzea, searching for locations where Bren, and you, will unlock the remaining Heaven's Gates. But you were only recently set upon by bandits. Perhaps traveling alone so soon is unwise? Don't you think I know that? That is why you will be lending me the services of your able manservant, Kemperane. I can't say his name for my life. I will? I will. Yes, of course, Lady Lavena. Anything for the granddaughter of Sharlayan's finest professor of astrology. Kemperane, you heard the lady. He really don't talk to you, do he? Very good. I shall see my grandfather to the airship landing now, but rest assured that if you neglect your studies, I will know. Go grind, she says, which I hope to do. Next Astrologian quest will be available at level 35! Huzzah! But for now, this is where I need to part episodes, both because I need to go make dinner, and also because I need to go grind. So as usual, I'll probably get up to level 40-ish. Healer, you usually need to like take breaks in between just because you need those additional spells, but gonna try and learn the class in the meantime, so see you in the future! Okay, I am back. I have made it to level 41. I was afraid to make it any further just because with Healer you reach a point where it's like, oh, there's probably some skills I need to learn in order to effectively keep people alive in dungeons, or maybe I've just had incompetent tanks. Who knows? But let us speak to Jennequard again, and hanging in the balance. Greetings, Bren. The stars tell me that you've been rigorously following Lavena's training regimen, though I harbor doubts that go out and do things while I traipse about the realm constitutes a regimen. Still, she's all we have, so I suppose we have to make do. And as the stars would have it, she just sent word that she's ready for us to attempt the opening of the second Heaven's Gate. You're aware of the 7 heavens, are you not? Just as there are 7 realms of the underworld, so too are there 7 realms of the firmament. Each of the first 6 represents one of the 6 basic elements: earth, ice, water, wind, lightning, and fire. The 7th and final heaven representing the element's astral polarity. The first 6 heavens are represented by the 6 constellations, which each revolve around the pole star. Astrologians in the Charlian school drew upon the aether contained in the celestial bodies represented by the constellations by unlocking, or opening, the gate to heaven that constellation is correlated with. There's no actual gate, think of it more like a portal to the soul. You're opening your mind, allowing for attunement with these distant bodies, much like one attunes to the aetherite, but on a far grander scale. Well, assuming they could be their own whole heckin' crystals. Now, this may come as a revelation, but Hydaelyn is not flat like most believe. Really? We have all this magic and tech and ability to chart the stars, and you still want to assume that it's freaking flat? It is in fact a sphere so large that when we walk upon it, it only appears to be flat. Because it is a sphere, there are some locations better suited to others for observing certain constellations. That is where Lavena is doing right now, finding a location in which next year's Heaven's Gate will rise to a position directly in mid-heaven, where it will be easiest to attune with, and it seems she has found one near the final prayer in Eastern Thanalan. That's why Zodiac stuff and whatever bugs me too, because it's like, wouldn't it be different depending on where you are born or where you currently are on the sphere of which we currently live? And like I said, other planets. Also, I've been getting told that the Orb anime is really good, but I haven't gotten around to it. Life around here has been stressful, so I've been watching more upbeat things. Some basic shonen again. Sakamoto Days. And Black Clover. Just because that's all Bryn's brain can handle at the end of the day. The journey here was uneventful, but the moment we arrived, we were set upon by bandits. I had no trouble driving them away, but I fear they may once again return again in numbers. Focus on your training, and I shall keep watch. But yeah, apparently Orb is basically that same premise of proving, hey, it's round, and the church is like, no, it's flat, and if you suggest otherwise, we will burn you at the stake like a witch. I don't believe my travels have ever taken me this far south. A tad dusty for my tastes, and warm, and dry. And brown. Welcome to the desert, my dude. It brown. Here at last, I see. Bandits have kept poor Cumperin busy, harrying our camp since we arrived. I do believe the old man enjoys his excitement, however. I'm certain it beats whipping the arse of a noble Brad, whoring away his uncle's fortune while dreaming of becoming a real Astrologian. He is right there, ma'am. I am very well capable of wiping my own arse, thank you very much. And Cumperin has never once complained of his duties. So, we're not gonna address the other part? Of course he hasn't. Your uncle pays him to smile and nod, and I'm sure a comfortable position in the pillars beats chasing after cloud rats in the broom to flavor his soup. And we're here to trade banter, because I was led... Are we here to trade banter, my lady? Because I was led to believe that we'd be unlocking a celestial gate. You'll find Cumperin has a good many uses, and I haven't the faintest doubt that he would most ably handle any ruffians who happen to come stumbling by looking for prey. Now, Bren, and Janiquard, we must be patient and wait for the constellation to reach its height and the brightest point at which it will flow of aether in the strongest in relation to Hydaelyn. The journey, you already said that, was mostly uneventful, he says. Mostly uneventful, just ignore the people on the floor. But yeah, Astrologian's been a bit difficult to learn so far. Out of all the healing classes, this one seems like it's the least straightforward. Mostly because of the cards. I always feel the need to hoard them. There, the balance. Focus on the constellation and attune its power. And maybe it's just the low-level dungeons, but I very rarely feel like I need to use 2 healing or shielding skills at once, or then I get ones that I feel like don't apply. The balance represents the heaven of fire, a realm made of made prosperous by the blessing of the traders, but at the same time, one whose equilibrium is maintained by the divine judgment of Azayama the Warden. So maybe it's just because I'm in the early game that it feels really clunky. Azayama's might will empower those who could take up their blades and meet divine punishment in the name of the Sun Goddess. And thus has the balance burned crimson in your heart, unlocking the gate to the second heaven. Now we get to learn what all the constellations are up in the sky. Now let us speed ourselves to the next location. Little Amigo. Why so soon, you ask? Would you rather that I had you commit yourself to another several moons of using Malefics to put down hedge moles? I thought not. The balance blazes in the welkin, unlocking the gate to the second heaven. It does what now? Okay, I'm guessing. Yep, down here. To little Alamigo. Since I'm learning more and more what the cards do, but very rarely do they feel like they actually make any sort of impact in battle yet. Maybe they will the stronger I get, and the more nail-biting various encounters become. Like, if I had a tank doing a ton of really, really large pulls, then I feel like shielding and regen would do more. But as a healing class, it feels like both Scholar and White Mage currently completely outrank it. At least with the current gear set that I have. One gate in my first 17 years, and now look at me. Perhaps my previous methods of training were not the most efficient. And this is coming as someone who used to hate playing Scholar, and now I love playing Scholar, so... Lord Genequard complains of the sand, but only because he sees it as a nuisance. The sand can be a wonderful thing, if you know its benefits. For example, it can be used to polish your mail or cover your body at night to stave off the desert cold. Am I boring you? If it has quartz in it, we can make glass. Be patient. Allow the stars to make their ascent into mid-heaven. Once they have, survey the skies and let the power run through you. Also, use it to coat my body. What am I, an elephant? Sand between my scales. The ultimate chafe. Raise your eyes to the stars and witness the violet glow of the spire. I'm guessing we're maybe going to get 3 at a time. Maybe we'll get like 3 new cards. In the third heaven rises the iron tower of the spinning gears and taut springs constructed by the builder himself. It's assailed without cease by the jealous Ralgar, but the destroyer's mighty 11 bolts only serve to power the spire's clockwork soul. It's through the blessing of both creation and destruction that strength is granted to those who see their stars rise under this sign. Is that supposed to be the crystal tower? You've now opened the gate, and its power is yours to command. Of course, ironically, the actual significance of the stars are just things that we probably attributed to them. Using the arcana to draw upon the powers of the stars they represent. This path we walk as Astrologans is called the Royal Road. It can be treacherous and fraught with peril, but it can lead men and women to greatness. And everybody else in between, apparently. Between, outside, loop-de-looped. Unlocking the gate to the third heaven, through the spire's blaze. Even though I don't think it blazed, it felt more like it sank. Oops, not you. One gate in my first 17 years, now look at me. Perhaps my previous methods of training were not most efficient at all. They really weren't. Your realm is quite the paradox. On one hand, it's full of life, magic, and wonder. One of the richest lands in all of Heidelin. On the other, it's literally brimming over with strife. You mean Eorzea, the continent? Like little Alamigo, the wretched souls displaced from their homes by the flames of war, or Ishgard, mired in its own pointless conflict with an enemy so old it does not even remember why it fights. The foolish believe that it is their fate to suffer, and so they turn their gaze away from the stars, when those selfsame stars have the power to show people that there are many paths. But that power can only be channeled by a few, like me and you, and to a lesser extent Jenniquard, and it's our duty to use that power to benefit those who remain lost or misguided. Remember that, and maybe one day you will truly become my grandfather's successor. But what about people who read the stars and they still tell them that they're lost and misguided? That's exactly what I've been trying to tell the Astrologians of my home nation. Why disregard something that has the power to grant succor to the wounded, the power to uplift the downtrodden, to strengthen the weak? The answer to that is easy. Empowering those without power lessens the power of those who already have it. Heal the weak so they might rise up and topple those who might make them weak? Why would anyone in a position of power do that? Even our greatest nation of learning is corrupted in this manner of thought. We hoard our knowledge that we might remain the brightest. Why do you think it took so long for Professor Mace to visit you, Jenniquard? Yes, I know what he told you, but it was not the whole of it. Those of the ruling quarter did their damnedest to stand in the way of my grandfather, worried that his passion for his field would kindle widespread interest in Charlian astrology. They only allowed him his recent trip, knowing he was now too old to do aught of the sort. Fortunately, the ruling quarter did not realize I would be accompanying my grandfather. Although if it only allows you to tell the future, wouldn't the future happen regardless of whether or not you knew it would come to pass? Bren, these past turns of the sun have been most fruitful. Yet while you have opened half the heaven's gates, there's still much of what we'd like to refer to as the royal road ahead of you. Take what you have learned here in the southern deserts and transform that knowledge into strength. If you wish to know more of the royal road, I suggest that you discuss it with Jenniquard back in Ishgard. If my father is to be believed, his time transcribing tomes back at the Studium Scriptorum should have left him more capable of handling that task. Also, I've been meaning to ask, but what is the sword portion? No, I'm not live at the moment. What is the sword portion of this weapon? Like, this makes sense. This opens up into the globe. If I do this. But what is this? What does this do? Is it a measuring stick? I have so many questions. Anyway, back to Curthus. Is it a telescope? Do I set it down and, like, it serves as a stand for my astroglow if I don't want to hold it? What is it? You wish to know more of the Royal Road? Well, I seem to recall it had something to do with the reassessing the attribution of an arcana before reading it, which would result in a slight alteration of the predestination, or perhaps it has something to do with the kings and queens and the minor arcana. It was over a decade ago. Level 42! A lesson in patience. Expected Helios. Restores own HP and the HP of all nearby party members. Additional effect, regen. Oh, so this is an automatic heal. And it casts regen on everybody. So it's like Medica 2 with a little bit of a oomph. Are you doing well? Well then, that makes the two of us. I cannot keep such important news from you. Lady Lavena and Cumprain, just last night they fell victim to another ambush at the hands of the bandits. The ever-resourceful Cumprain provided his invaluable worth once again with a dashing display of chivalry that would shame any knight in the sea. A statement that attests to the sorry state of our knights. But that is a chat we can have over a cup of tea. I already have tea, my dude. It's been a tiring day. When Lady Lavena attempted to retire to her room at that filthy inn in the Broom, please somebody clean that, I had our sorely discussed second floor cleared and furnished with trappings from my own home. She's up there now, and asked to see you the moment you arrived. Oh, so she's allowed to decorate hers, but I can't decorate mine? Just really quick, make sure, there we go, that I don't have any more Oh, she's upstairs. I thought she was gonna literally be at the room. Wait, you don't seem all that surprised to see me here. Did Janicord tell you of the attack? Damn the fool. And after I told him to keep his mouth shut. Though I suppose I must bear some of the fault for ever thinking he could do as he was told. Now I suppose you're wondering why I summoned you here to these makeshift chambers, and no, it has not to do with the bandit attacks. It appears much more common in your realm than I thought. Sorry? Great poverty happened? There was literally an apocalypse? A dragon blew up our entire continent? There are times when the heavens may provide you with a vision of the future that is slightly beyond your original aim. In these cases, the stars are not flawed, only out of order. Sorry, my universe is out of order, ma'am. So by shuffling a card back into the deck, we are in no way ignoring or denying a future, merely postponing a reading intended for the later date, and replacing it with something that better pertains to the present. I trust that you will pick up on this technique swifter than Janicord. Yeah, very rarely do I actually shuffle. Divinations, Astrologians, Echo Deep, something, something. Rarely ever do I shuffle my card deck. Apparently you can. I rarely ever do. I kind of forget that I even can do it. Yeah, we have regular regain right here. We have regular Helios, which is restoring HP and HP of everybody else. But I guess this one... Aspected Helios is the same idea, except region? Cure potency 100, duration 15 seconds, so not very long. How about you? What are you? Cure potency 330. Okay, so it's a better heal, but it doesn't come with the regen. Even though the regen probably over time covers for it. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's probably the better heal. Is there a... Okay, that's Umbral Draw. Since I'm an Astral Draw, this just speeds it up. Recast Timer. Could have sworn there was a darn shuffle button. Restores target's HP, cure potency. This is if they are under 30% HP, it cures a lot more. The last second rescue. That's a poison spell, that's a Suna. Don't mind me, I'm just looking at traits here, trying to figure stuff out. Okay, so this does upgrade eventually over time. As do these. Microcosms, light speed play. Astral Draw, which then becomes Umbral Draw automatically. I don't think I can actually swap them out. I can only use them, I think, and then maybe draw again. Slings and arrows. Lavena appears to be recovered from her ordeal with the bandits and is ready to continue your training. Are you ready, my pupil? The gate to the fourth heaven awaits. However, the location I have chosen for attunement will not remain the most optimal for long. You're to travel with Janicord, and I will make the journey with Cumprain. There are no objections? Good. If this is Lady Lavena you seek, she just left with Cumprain for Limsa. If you make haste, you may still be able to catch them at the airship landing. Me, as much as I would like to indulge myself on the pillows of Rotondo pleasure barges, there's a congress to be held at the vault. And I guess a way to call yourself out for the last insult, my dude. I guess she was right. And all the prominent houses have been summoned. My presence at such an event would be sorely missed, so I fear the next lesson must needs proceed without me. Really? Something you can do at any time, and you're passing it up? I my guy, you can goof around after you become a renowned Astrologian. There's plenty of fish in the Limson Sea, so to speak. And all across the realm, but these are lessons you can only learn once. I'm certain Lady Lavena will understand. I'm certain she won't. I can always open the third gate another day. Or was it the fourth? Third or fourth? It is of no matter. The stars certainly will not be going anywhere. But she will be. And you did so well without her before. Your problem isn't your Astrologian studies, it's that you're kind of a lazy butt. So get your butt to your training. Sorry, I'm just checking stuff in the background. Okay. That is... where? Looks to be potentially in Hawker's Alley. A most pleasure to discover the attitude of acceptance towards beastmen traders here in Limsa. My fellow Don merchants openly despise such savage peddlers, you see, but I believe their opportunity is being missed. The Mamulja, for example, are hardly a race that hail from the lands of the West, and their skill at arms is their primary exploit. A quality source of mercenaries, if you ask me. I have to cough. And I messed up my volume settings. The bulging packs of the goblins, they often contain naught of value. But it's worth sifting through the junk for that one rare treasure. Rare treasure? One rare treasure? It's called goodwill. And the Kieran? Look no further than should you wish to trade for ore or gemstones. They probably sound like your best bet. The Lady Lavena's missing. We disembarked the airship together, but became separated in the chaos at the landing. Seeing as how the lady has found herself the victim of bandits' attacks while arriving in Eorzea, I fear she may be targeted once again, especially consider the location, you know. We don't have that much of a bandit problem. I feel like something else is going on. This is my first time setting foot in Limsa, but I have made aware of its landmarks. Might I suggest we search independently so we might cover more ground? I shall start with several of the seemingly more disreputable locations, such as the Drowning Wench, the Astalica, and the Missing Member. Would you be so kind as to search the Fisherman's Bottom and the Coral Tower? Let us meet at the Seventh Stage once our survey is complete. If only there was, like, a guild in town for this exact problem. Let him know that there's kidnappings abound in his town, and Jack's gonna be pissed. "20-odd summers since I spilled from Mama's loins, and ain't once I ever heard of the word Astrologian. Now in the span of 2 bloody bells, I go and meet myself not one, but an honest-to-goodness pair of live star golfers. Didn't see where that other fair-skinned lass buggered off to. Ones as that, though, oft end up in the pleasure barges, if you catch me drift." Hopefully by their own volition, Vakeb, or we are going to have another mission later tonight, aren't we? Alright, Coral Tower. That is... ah, that's the Marauders Guild. What she does in her own time is none of my business, but if she was sent there against her will, I have butts to kick. Another Astrologian? How odd. It's not often that even our city-state, known for its diversity, welcomes a single reader of the stars through its gates. Let alone 2, and on the same day, no less. Wow, it's almost like we traveled together or something. Yes, I took a few moments from my duties to speak with her about the city-state. She seemed quite interested in our dealings with the Sahagin, the Serpent Reavers, and the Garlean Empire. I told her what I could, but she left after only a few moments. It was as if she thought she was being pursued. But the Charlene was gone before I could assign her a Yellow Jacket escort. Okay. Maybe there's 2 here? That's going to be for Scholar. It says that there's another person I can talk to somewhere. Oh, maybe it's downstairs. I didn't know this even had a downstairs. I know the summoning area did. I have seen me a sturdy lass in rub garb poking her lovely head in holes where they weren't wanted. 'Tis rare we get one so worldly down in the gurgling belly of the tower. Whoa! Whew! There was a Miote with a gun! I didn't realize until it went off and it startled me. Speaking of holes where they weren't wanted, 'tis rare we get one so worldly down the gurgling belly of the tower. I had halt training to work out what the fuss was about. The maid inquired to where she might find herself a nip or 2 or some of the strong stuff, so I pointed her in the direction of our resident apothecary, Carvalin of the 7th Sage. I don't know if that's a sip of the good stuff or a sniff of the good stuff, if you catch my drift. Literally. Literally catch my drift. Sound more like she wanted to go to the tavern more than a smoking bowl. Bren, I bear good tidings. The Lady Levena is scheduled to return here within a matter of bells. It seems she has entered a contract with the Cavalain for the purchase of several of the apothecary's wares. An interesting girl, that one. Very rare do we see young maidens walk the Leminson streets without escort, and almost never do they come to me seeking, spice. Still, she did appear quite uneasy, as if being watched, or followed. Suspicions, I must say, not uncommon in our fair city. Might she be in some manner of trouble? Those few who agreed to speak with me at the drowning wench and the missing member claimed the same. My short stay in the Astalica bore no fruit whatsoever. What were you able to find? I see, so you have ascertained that the lady is being followed, and that she is aware of the fact. If that is the case, I believe she will attempt to move somewhere she will be in plain sight of as many people as possible. Good move, then. I doubt they'll help in this town. Kidnappings and killings are conducted in broad daylight here, and when they happen, most people just keep their heads down so as to not have them removed from their shoulders. Damn. 12 damn this town. I shall have set out once more and try to locate this Lady Levena. There's still the chance she may return here of her own, so I ask that you remain in case she does. If she has not arrived at the rendezvous point by the time of her scheduled meeting with Cavalain, then we shall both go to the one location that is most populated after the sun falls on the Minsa, the drowning wench. Ooh. Oh, rendezvous point. I guess I wait here. This Lady Levena, you said she was an Astrologian, yes? It's been many summers, but there was a time when I too dreamed of reading the stars. To think I had a teacher as lovely as her, my life might have taken a different direction. Is she using the spice to enhance her astrology somehow? Ah yes, I see it in the stars. You don't see shit, you're high. It appears that your companion is tied up. Not literally, I hope. Perhaps you should head to the wench and see if she is there, like your friend believes, though I fear that if she did make it that far, you may never find her again, at least not alive. Were not, my starry-eyed friend, if by chance she were to arrive here after your departure, you have my word that no harm will come to her while she remains behind the Seven Sages' doors. After all, she's not a good customer if she's dead. Well, at least it's straightforward. How to interact with Tom person. Pap them in forehead. Someone in black? What's wrong with... Oops. Didn't get to see all that. What's wrong? A woman in black? What's wrong with the woman standing up for you? I wasn't asking that kind of favor. How to talk to people. Tap them on the forehead. I'm gonna see me last, scurrying off to High Lane. Don't know what that is. It's you. Wait. Me brave knight in shiny armor. Come and give me a... come and give my glitter a kiss. Hello? This area is filled with imposters who seek to keep us occupied while their leader pursues Lady Lavena. Oh. Had me confused there a moment. That there are those about who attempt to stall us must mean the lady eludes them. Follow me. We must save her. Do I just... Oh, she's bound. I thought I had to heal her or something. Oh, nope, that... not her. Like moss to the flame. She'll be pleased when I bring her back your wings. Another imposter, a feat's fiery piss. Just how many of these damned rogues are there? So that sounds like a bladder infection. Maybe see somebody about that. We have medicine, sir! It's either that or you've been joining Janaquin on his jaunts. Which one is Lady Lavenia? We could always ask questions and find out. It's Lady Lavive. Do you even have to ask, Kimbrain? I cannot trust my own eyes. Which one is the true Lavenia? Do I have to pick the right one or the wrong one? Quite clever of you to discern which was the imposter. Well, the other one didn't do a great job. Lady Lavea, you have my apologies. It was my fault I allowed us to become separated. Do not blame yourself, Kimbrain. I sensed danger at the landing, and it was my instinct to run. As ever I have. I forgot that I could trust you. Unfortunately, by the time I realized such, there was no sign of you, so I did what I could to blend in, choosing crowded places, speaking with as many locals as possible, though all while feeling there were unseen eyes watching my every move. By the time I realized that my pursuers were simply leading me away from you, night had already fallen, giving them the perfect opportunity to strike. It was then that I witnessed several of the bandits had disguised themselves in a garb similar to mine. I assume this was to confuse the three? Well, two of you still searching for me. It was when I conceived the idea to play the part of the imposter myself. Why hide in the shadow when you can hide in plain sight? That's quite brilliant of you, Lady Lavea. I realize I've been adding an end to that on accident. My bad. May I ask, were you at any time able to discern who the pursuers were? The amount of effort put into your capture would suggest that they're more mere pirates looking to sell you to slavers. Unfortunately, no. And I wasn't about to walk up and ask them who they were, or who had hired them. But that's all behind us now. Let's see if we can salvage something from the horrible night. The fourth gate ascends nearby, Bren. Shall we not see it made yours? To the anchor yard. How often do these gates appear? Are they with the rise and fall of, like, every constellation, or is it like a once-a-year sort of deal as a result? Well, I'll be a barnacle and a kraken's arse. If it ain't the star goppin' lass, he come to scry us for our fortunes. Tell us, which one you'll be dying first like? The beet-red knight with the carp in his codpiece, or the stern-faced venturer high on their hobby horse? God damn it, how many pirates are in this goddamn hell? It's their town, sweetie. Admiral's been slacking. Get some poison going. Oh, cube brain. Why are you suffering so much? Oh, you've got all kinds of debuffs on you. Said something about coin, but I didn't catch it. Why me? What you chasing after me for? Keep praying, do your job. Oh, Ravik's here. I met my new friends. Your assistance is most timely. I went for a nightly stroll and I heard all the commotion down here. Told you we needed to consider a guild. Brain. Where is Ravik? You get the buff. If it even affects you at all. Yeah, the snowflake buff you give to DPS typically. Worked quite the thirst to have if you find a beset something. I find a spot of Merry can't do see myself. Maybe next time you can... I can't finish those! They're so fast compared to the other ones. What are you here for? Apparently my glitter globe is so loud, I can't hear you. A Garby! No! Betrayed by Bun Buns! Lay down them weapons or I'll cut the old man a new grin under his chin. I cannot believe that actually worked. Nor can I, but then again, I've never fought someone so credulous. Now let us do this as they do in the Fear Babes. You step over here, I let the man go. Easy peasy. Wait, I know you. You're the bandit leader who attacked Lady Lavena's grandfather in the Black Shroud. Lady Lavea, excuse me. I keep adding an N. Someone has a good memory for being so on in years. Well then, this changes everything. First off, I can finally drop the annoying pirate accent. And secondly, I suppose I can simply kill you now, rather than after pretending to let you go once the lady is drawn close enough. about the other people that were with us? They just run off? Stop right there. On hand the manor, I'll have your head tarred on the plow of the galley by cockcrow. First maniacal marauders, then feline fishers, and now the Commodore of the Swivin Thalassic Navy? How many more gods is this machine going to drop on me? Until next time, Lady Levea. You have my apologies. I was a fool to fall for the bandit's trick. Amazing, in all my years, that was the first time I've ever seen the feigning death trick actually work. But now is not a moment to be dwelling on our many failings. I have a dastard to apprehend. You'd be surprised how often people run after being told to, after being told stop right there. I can't speak. Oof. Lady Levea, that pirate, she was the same bandit who... Yes, I know, and that changes little, for I still have no idea who she may be, or who she may be working for. There is naught we can do until the Commodore brings the woman to justice, or until she decides to attack us again. What we can do is what we came here for, Bren's training. Okay, but where did the other guild go that was fighting with us? They just up and disappeared. That wouldn't have happened had they stayed. It's like they added them later or something to make this easier, but then they didn't put them into the cutscene. Now look to the stars and behold the arrow. The fourth heaven, or the heaven of wind, was created atop a lofty peak by Oshan the Wanderer, whose footsteps had been guided by the navigator. The wind that blows off Lemian's seas guides the arrow fast and true, and so shall it deliver the weary souls of those trapped in the mire of confusion, indecision, and over-contemplation. The fourth heaven has opened its gate, allowing you to access to its sacred, penetralia. From this day forth, its power is yours to interpret and wield. The arrow, chat. She means the arrow. That power will further aid you as you continue to hone your skills. Now let us return to Ishgard. I have a few words for a certain student of mine who felt inclined to forgo this particular lesson. Whose help we maybe could have used. Also, why is everybody so keen on getting their hands on you? Is it because Astrologians are apparently rare? Dira blazes in the welkin, unlocking the gate to the fourth heaven. And maybe it's the same speed and I'm just slow today. That could very well be the case. Air quality today is really poor, so my brain's just kind of like, blah. That's what the caffeine's for, but apparently it ain't helping. Nope, not the bird. The aetherite. But yeah, I feel like I'm still getting used to applying the buffs for Astrologian. Or that they don't do a whole lot, at least not yet. I'm Bren, you've had the decency to warn me that Lady Levena was in a mood You might have had the decency to warn me that Lady Levena was in a mood with me for not joining you. She seemed to think I was to blame for your misadventures. Well, not necessarily, but unless... Is that why you didn't come? Now I'm suspicious. How would that be? It is not as if my being there would have prevented the bandits from attempting to abduct Lady Levea. These being the same bandits who attacked you in the Black Shroud, which, by the way, is another location I was not at. Yes, that actually makes it more suspicious. This is plainly something far beyond our control. And furthermore, it's not as if I was merely sipping cordials and waltzing with baronets. I was helping to further our cause. I spoke with several high-ranking cardinals about Lady Levea being granted the opportunity to speak at the vault regarding Charlie and astrology. What do you think of that? I was politely turned down, of course. but it is the gesture. The gesture that will one day lead to another gesture, which will one day lead to a head inclined slightly in the general direction of another gesture. Little steps, my protege, little steps. But anyway, next quest is at level 45, so I'll probably get to level 45 or 50 and then do another batch. But yeah, Jennicor's getting a little suspicious to me that he might be setting these up. Otherwise, how would they know where we are? Is he using our astrology ability to track us to prove his own powers, maybe? I don't know. What do you get out of this, Jennicord, if you are the culprit, or is it all a series of weird coincidences? Because otherwise I feel like we'd be able to see that too. But I guess we'll find out as I level up. So BRB. Alright, we've made it to level 57, so we should be good to go for finishing the first part of Astrologian. Our right. Jennicord appears to be monitored, motioning to you with his eyes. Why he doesn't simply call out your name is both disturbing and relieving at the same time. What do you want? Why do you want to keep it a secret? Greetings, your timing, my friend, is impeccable, for it just so happens that this very moment I have need of your assistance. While our lovely lady, Neveva, has been making herself a target of every cutthroat and cur in the realm, I have been focusing my efforts on our main objective. Training? Pah. There'll be time enough to for training later. No, I seek our ultimate goal of spreading knowledge to the Charlian School of Astrology through the Holy See. As you know, the Vault recently turned down my request to allow Lady Levea to speak before them. But I am not one to be turned away so easily. No, I have a plan. I will entreat Chief Astrologian Fordamont to draw up an official recommendation. The Vault will not so quickly dismiss the words of a man of such standing. Yes, I know mine uncle loathes me with a passion rarely seen even in young lovers, and there's really no reason why he wouldn't aid our cause. Wait. Loathes me with a passion rarely seen even in young lovers. Those are two opposites. You mean like an anime where they bicker? They both act like they hate each other? That's an enemies to lovers trope. That's not actual, oh, I like you trope. Being a staunch opponent of change and all. But that does not mean that we cannot try, and if we fail, well, then we can try again, and again, and again, until he's so annoyed that he writes us the recommendation simply to see us out of his thinning hair. And by we, I mean you. Considering how red the Chief Astrologian became the last time I visited him, I reason it would be detrimental to mine uncle's health should I arrive at his place of research, and we most certainly would not want him to fall ill or collapse before he penned that recommendation. The Chief Astrologian is a furiously busy man, and despises those who would distract him from his work, especially when the cause for distraction is something he finds trivial. It is fortunate for us that our goal is anything but trivial. Okay, this should be the... Yeah, it is the level 45 one. I really need this one before continuing leveling, though, because I think this is our AoE attack. And casting singles is probably getting on people's nerves, rightfully so. Which means I'm gonna have to change around my whole grid again. Yay. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to think in my head where I want to put what. Because obviously some stuff doesn't have a parallel. Maybe I'll put the light speed where aspected Helios is, and then I can switch to a multi-grid and a single grid depending on my needs. Or maybe I'll put rescue there just because when you need it you really need to split second need it. Further. Who do I see disturbing me this fine morning but Jennicard's new scullery maid? I suppose you've come here for this. Jennicard never ceases to amaze, does he? Not only does the lout have the nerve to ask me, for aid, but he then refuses to do me the common courtesy of accepting that aid in person. Ever the entitled little shite, more worried about his popularity among the fair sex than how his actions disgrace his family's name. Ah, the slackjaw. I suppose you're wondering why in the world I, of all people, would agree to such nonsense. Well, it's simple. Allowing the heathen Astrologian to dig their own grave in front of the entire vault in the Ishgardian Astrologian community will only serve to accomplish what I wished from the very start. Charlian astrology has no place in Ishgard. It has no place in Eorzea. Even in Charlian? It is dangerous, and it serves no purpose but to take our eyes off what is truly important, using astrology to free us from the dragon menace and ensuring man's return to Alone's kingdom. Nevaeh's dithering will only make that much clearer. And yet the dragons leave everyone else alone. And Janequard, perhaps this will finally spell his downfall. He has only been allowed to continue this nonsense because he is harmless. Too caught up in the luxury of being in line to Count de Duriander's title to actually put forth any real effort in furthering his cause. Charlian astrology is but an oddity of which he can boast about at balls to get him in bed with the slatternly maids of lower houses. His father has protected him thus far, but allowing him and his lady to speak, there'll be no brushing under the rug the shame this brings forth. Janequard will be finished. Tell him what I told you, if you wish. I'm not one to conceal my intentions. Truth be told, I sincerely hope that enlightening him on my views will somehow show him the error in his ways, and compel the little shite to abandon this foolishness and crawl back into his cups. He only wants to learn some parlor tricks to be a fuckboy, he says. Which, so far, with his lack of studying, I can kinda see. Okay, back to the Astrologian. Inform me right away if Chief Astrologian's Forlamont has denied my request for letter of recommendation. So we might begin work on our next request. Well, I don't know if this is that what that is, but I know you got thoroughly roasted, sir. Would you like some herbs to go with that? A letter to the Holy See officially requesting the Assembly of Ishgard's top astrologians to discuss matters of utmost importance. Is this? It cannot be. It is. The Seal of Forlamont. How did you... What did he say? No, wait. Perhaps it's better that I do not know. Maybe that is for the best. I don't know. Will it help you get your act together? Well, this changes everything. I'll have to arrange another meeting with the vault. Summon the cardinals to Duriander Manor. We'll need wine and sparrow stuffed pheasant. Is sparrow referring to like actual bird sparrow? Or are we stuffing bird with bird? And pheasant stuffed goose. Oh, we are. And goose stuffed chocobo and bards. A whole troop. Not to eat, of course. Now I fear I will no longer be able to join you on Lady Levea's next opening of the gates. Do give her my regards, though when you see her in Mordona. I want a matryoshka bird roast, apparently. Lady Levea will certainly understand the importance of my remaining here in Ishgard after she hears the good news regarding Forlamont's letter of recommendation. You'll be so kind as to inform her upon your arrival at Mordona, will you not? Are you just gonna party it up? While I do everything else? I know during some part of the Middle Ages they did some weird things like that with birds, but it wasn't so much like for eating as much as it was to be an asshole. Basically trolling. Please, I cannot go back with them. Bandits! For once, we're not the bandits' targets. We came across this young woman as she was being dragged into the hills. Though we drove her abductors away, I suspect they have already mustered the courage for a second attack. It's good that you and Jan... It's a good thing you arrived when you did. Yeah, Janny Quinn's not here. The girl claims she's a student of the Athenaeum. I'd recently overheard Janequard mention he would be conducting another gate opening in Mordona. She journeyed here of her own in hopes of having the chance to witness your astronomy firsthand. I say we give her something to remember. It won't let me rotate the camera all the way to see who they're talking about. I keep trying and it won't let me. Can I get this one? Thank you. Assuming that's not all of them. They're merely bandits. They cannot see things that you can. You're unaware of the magic. Hey. The bandit leader has similar fashion to how I did my mage. They just must have dyed it. That's Corn Temple garb. Okay, let's get you. Get you some buffs, sir. Oh, yeah. Ouch. Ouch. No! Live! I need you to live! I've been put on pure defense! No! Oh god. You. And then you. Oh, I hope that didn't actually mess it up too bad by having him die. There just wasn't enough I could do to keep him alive. I feel like I gave him as much attention as I could and I just couldn't keep him alive. Okay, he is. You have my apologies, Lady Levea. I did not think. Your only fault was an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Oh, I didn't realize you were the girl in question. For some reason I thought it was Grandpa. A realm where one must apologize for being a victim is no realm worth living in. But why would those men attack me? I believe it is now quite obvious that the bandits were not meant for you, but for me. It would seem a certain party fears the spread of Charlian astrology, and will stop at naught to prevent it. My Charlian constellation chart, the bandits, it must have been torn when they seized me. Here, you may take mine. I have the stars committed to memory. I don't know how I'll ever be able to, but I'll think of something. Just you wait. I'll repay this kindness tenfold. So is it the uncle, or is it Yannickard himself? It's going to be the traitor, who doesn't want it to spread. Does the uncle think it's so foolhardy that he would get in the way? Or does Yannickard want to be the only person who knows it to make him more popular? Even if he's bad at it. Lady Leveva, you mentioned something about certain parties wanting to prevent the spread of Charlian astrology. Have you any idea who they might be? I do, but I should require more proof before I can be certain. You and Bren should be able to assist me with that. However, as they say, first things first, we have a gate to open. She could have stuck around for that part. Lady Leveva mentioned before about those in power not wanting those below them to rise up. Could that have something to do with the attacks? Bren, the fifth astral heaven awaits. Or fifth heaven. It's probably still astral. Open your mind and become one with the stars. Alright, let's do this. Ad Astra Abyssosk. There, the Ewer. Focus. Focus and let the constellation's aether twine with your own. It's said through the fifth heaven flows a mighty river carrying the water spilled forth from the scholar's vessel. And in that water is the strength of all that have come before and all who will follow, the spun of Nemia's loom, through which might and metal is weaved. And now the power of the Ewer is forever yours, and forever shall it point you to victory. Some sort of Oz? While I cannot forgive our patron for skipping yet another of his lessons, I cannot deny that the passion hidden deep beneath all his posturing may have its uses. Word of our field is spreading, and our inherent nature has begun to stir. Curiosity is proving the better motivator than skepticism and faith. Our time may yet come. Your blaze is in the welkin, unlocking the gate to the fifth heaven. Which should allow me to get another move when I desperately need. I feel so bad about not doing proper damage in dungeons. Especially since you don't play these cards that frequently. Do not tell me Lady Leveva was attacked again. I knew it, and without a reading. My talents grow by the day. Talents? More like you're just able to predict normal things. But that's still sus. What is this you claim? A fellow Astrologian was moved by my words and went to witness the unlocking? That is amazing. I wonder who it could be, though. I would certainly recall speaking in detail with the young, supple, mind. I will find this woman and hold another, special lesson with her. I don't know. He's just getting more sus by the moment. Listen, oh, that reminds me. Lady Leveva asked me to teach you a new technique before you head into the fifth heaven's gate, which you have already gone and done, but it appears you were able to overcome your ordeal without it. Yes, exactly according to my lesson plan. I mean, technically I've been doing that with dungeons too, but it's not a good idea. You still wish me to teach you the technique? Very well then, though I do not really see the point. I do. So this is Gravity. Deals unaspected damage with the potency of 120 to target and all enemies nearby. It's just our AoE. The divinations of Astrologian's past resonate within your soul. So yeah, where did it go? There it is. It's here. I can't show it off. Let us perhaps move a few things around. It's not where I'm officially gonna leave them. I just want to find space. Where'd it go? Here it is. Let that there. Crappy adventure plate that I have yet to actually do anything with. Benefic 2 is here. Was it here on this one? No, it was Azuna. This went where then? All the way on the left. Weird layout, Bren, but okay. What? move that one since it's single target. We'll probably want some multi-target, but potentially move this here then, since it's an overall group heal. That's easy to remember. Aspected Helios. I had Izuna here before. Still need Lucid Dreaming. Might be a good idea to have a Surecast in here. We need to put Rescue somewhere. Yeah, the Revive can be on the main grid. Don't mind me. What was this? This was an instant rescue, but it's single target. I should flip these. Otherwise, oops, not these. Okay, level 50, Loved by the Sun. Sinistry. I don't know if it is the final one for this quest part, though. Jennicord is ready to burst with excitement. Make the Viscount wait any longer, and there is certain to be a wardrobe malfunction. Lady Leveva tells me that you are nearly ready to open the 6th and final gate. Yes, I said final. We all know there are 7 heavens, but opening the 7th is impossible. Well, except upon death, of course. An attempt to attune to the pole star would be sheer madness, almost certainly dispel your doom. So we still have a North Star? Even now, attempting to tutor the Great Bren when it's obvious your talent far surpasses mine. Forgive me. Lady Leveva is yet to depart for the location of the final gate. Doubtless, she fears yet another bandit attack, but whatever the reason, she remains on the 2nd floor and has asked for you to come visit her at your earliest convenience. You hear a shout from up top, "Come visit me at your earliest convenience! Get up here!" You've come far since that fateful day, and our paths have first crossed in the Black Shroud. And now here we are, on the cusp of your attunement with the 6th heaven. Time truly waits for no one, does it? Before we set forth on this task, I wish to teach you the technique known as Sinistry. By temporarily enjoining your fate with that of a companion, they will reap the star's benefits as you do. Not like that, Jet. As a passable journeyman as Astrologian, you already wield sufficient control over Aether. You need only focus it upon establishing a bond with your chosen ally to achieve Sinistry. So that's how I get a move. Generate an etheric bond with a target party member each time you cast a single target healing spell on yourself or a party member. The party member with whom you have the bond will also recover HP equaling 40% of the original spell. So instead of our weaker all-party spells, you can choose someone to gain even more. So I'm assuming it's meant to be like in the last battle, how I couldn't keep the one guy alive. If I focused on him and gave the other Astrologian woman like the Sinistry, she would have healed too. I don't know. It feels overly cumbersome to kind of use that one. Because you're usually either focusing on one target or healing the whole group, because typically when other DPS starts to take damage, you don't want to pick just one because they're all going to be hurting. I don't know. Alright, this is the last one. Spearheading initiatives, because we get the coffer. She appears anxious. It might be in your best interest not to keep her waiting any longer. I believe you're ready to attune with the final constellation. The location of the next lesson is actually not far. I assume your travels have taken you to Camp Dragonhead? Excellent. I, as always, will go ahead to make my final readings. If each of our previous outings is any indication, the bandits which harry us will most certainly jump at this opportunity. So I would have Brain scout the area ahead of time and report any suspicious activity to the knights garrisoned at the camp. Let someone else bloody their hands for a change, I say. Feel free to tell Janicord of our plans, though I do not doubt he already has some of his own. Yeah, since I'm not deciding to do these as singles, that means I can technically stream the part 2, or the Heavensward part of Astrologian. Lady Leveva has already departed? Well, then she must have leapt from the window, for I did not see her use the front door. I dare say that means we'll be traveling alone, Of course I will be attending. Why wouldn't I be? Well, the front door is here, and she came down the stairs, so... Weirdo. Camp Dragonhead's but a few miles southeast to the Gates of Judgment. The journey should take no time whatsoever. As for bandits, we need not worry about an assault. The camp is occupied by a full garrison of knights who patrol the surrounding hills day and night. They will not allow a flake of snow to fall on Lady Levea's head, let alone a 30-prone warhammer. Oops. I'm on the wrong grid. Not bad. That's the attack boost. Increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 6% for 20 seconds. Oopsie. Not what I meant to do. Is she really not here? I could have sworn. I'm going the wrong way, that's why. Fate joined. No, I have not. Brennan Janiquard. Well then, it appears that giving my constellation map to the Astrologian in Rathfrost was unwise, as my readings for the location of the 6th heaven have proven slightly off. However, a second calculation has shown that we are close. The optimal location lies just north of here in a derelict tower known as the Steel Vigil. You have the look of the learned about you. Might I ask if you've seen this star map before? It was on the person of an Astrologian who came to us seeking help after being attacked. What did you do to her? That is my map, the one I gifted the Astrologian in Rathfrost. Do you mean to tell me she was set upon again? Your map? Well, I'm going to have to ask you to accompany for questioning. The Astrologian claims she wrestled this chart from one of her assailants before escaping their grasp. Lady Leveva, why would you assault the self-same woman you risked your life saving? Because she did not, my lord. Why would you even think something so foolish? This must be some sort of misunderstanding. I was present at the assault. We saved the young maid of which you speak from the party of bandits Lady Leveva gave her own constellation map to replace the one damaged by her assailants. Bren was also here as witness to the proceedings. Well, we have our own witness to say otherwise, so until we can have a trial and an adjudicator who can pass his judgment, this Leveva will have to come in for questioning, for she herself has admitted the map is hers. It's all right, I have naught to hide, and arguing here will not bring us any closer to the truth. If anything, I wish to confront this woman who would bring false accusations against one who saved her life. If she even did at all. Very well then, take me where you will. I shall answer all of your questions, and you will soon learn who is spouting falsehoods. My friends, you need not worry overmuch, for I shall be in the company of the Temple Knights, where no harm might befall me. I'll return once I have proven my innocence. But they prove innocence through trial by combat. You're a mage! Wait, I see stars. No harm, Quatha. That knight was the selfsame Astrologian whom we saved in Mordona. The Astrologian who now claims we attacked her. Maybe they're not even knights. Maybe they're in cosplay. Are you saying the Astrologian was a temple knight? No, listen, my lord. I'm saying the Astrologian is no more Astrologian than she is a knight. I'm saying we have been played. We've fallen victim to a ruse that has landed Lady Leveva in the hands of those who have been attempting to kill her since she set foot in Eorzea. Then start moving your feet and not your lips. Then you're saying she won't be safe in the presence of those temple knights. Those weren't temple knights, my lord. You are so dim. However, they were wearing the colors of our knights most heavenly, and if we were to assault them, this near to the heavily garrisoned Camp Drakengard, we'd be struck full of arrows before anyone asked us why we drew our blades. And we must shadow Lady Leveva's captors and wait for an opportunity to take her back. How exciting. Can I take point? No, of course not. I still don't fully know if he's in on it or if he's just stupid. Keep a distance until opportunity to rescue her arises. And I say that is what I've been saying all along. I might ask that you keep your voice down, my lord. And here I was, just attempting to, like, go full guns blazing. I got 2 healers. is on its own grid. I might replace it with the sleep command, because honestly, aside from the overworld, I don't know if it's ever actually used. Is this necessary? How much further? Where are we going? Bring us meat for the journey home. Oh, are they gonna thin out? Yes, sir. Astrologian has left the company to see the ogres. Let's take her unawares. Can't go that way. Man, I couldn't handle anything. As I thought, this woman is the same one we assisted in Mordona. I do not believe she is working alone. You good? That snow slippery? Every time I see someone do this IRL, it's because they're on ice. I should have not have had that dinner. Made it seem more like he was running off to use the bathroom. Dang it, I wanted to try it. Perhaps later. Maybe he was, and he got accosted by dragons in the meantime. I cannot wait for stragglers file in. Sir, beasts, approach our company. Does Q-Brain even need my help? It's really starting to feel like he doesn't. Now let's try gravity. Nope. Now let's try gravity. Ah, this is the glitter sparkle I keep seeing. I see that a lot in raves. Raves? Raids. Feels like a rave with all the glitter. Makes me now understand the joke. So much star glitter you'll need 5 layers of sunglasses to see. Kinda, yeah. I heard something, sir. Looks like he's waiting to ambush us. Brain, what are you doing? Dude, we're at Providence Point. We're far enough out that we could totally ambush these dudes. They don't seem to be going for him. He just appears to be, like, maybe eating? Did we fail? Nope. Just as I expected, the fools have led me straight to the answers I've sought since my arrival in this backwoods realm. And if I'm not mistaken, my trusted companion should be arriving right about... now. I'll be taking this. Chains work both ways. The moment you lift off in that airship, the whole land will know that you are not true temple knights, and you'll be made to answer for your crimes. Once we're in the air, it would not matter what anyone else knows, you fool. We'll not be returning once we have slain you and your friends. He's like, temple knights don't fly. No one shall stand in the way of my fate, especially not some dog's body of the Forum. Meta! Guys, let me in. Let me in, the fight's already starting. Oh, Jennifer, not again. What's hand casting the blizzard? An old world thaumaturge. What horse do you have in this race? How long does it take to pick up a piece of paper? Come on. I do not think Lady Leveva would mind us taking a peek inside that missive, would she? No, you're right. Like enough she would. Please, allow me a moment to gather myself. Of course I knew the Temple Knights were false. I recognized the Astrologian we saved almost immediately, and I find it insulting they believed I would not. I also know that they would lead me to the true perpetrators if I played along, fully aware that you loyal three would follow. And I'm pleased that you also knew that we would somehow crawl our way out of that little tussle with our lives, because I was uncertain for most of the journey. Well, I was certain Bren would make it, for the stars have already told me they would unlock the 6th gate here at the Still Vigil, the very location we ended up at, despite our unexpected ordeal. Your fate, Jan inquired. Well, I never bothered reading it, for I thought that you would skip the lesson like you have every other one. Bren, gaze upon the night sky and open your soul to the final constellation, the Spear. The Spear is the gate to the 6th heaven, where the Fury resides in a place of ice carved by her own spear, ice formed of moonbeams collected by the lover, Menfina. That name sounds familiar. The Spear fills... might be because it sounds too close to Menphilia. The Spear fills not only with the power to overcome our enemies, but also the compassion that is necessary to grant those same enemies mercy. And now that power is yours, to see directed at those whose fates require it. Athena equivalent, maybe? It's done. You've attuned yourself to the 6 lower heavens, and now that you know their strength, the true journey begins. The spear blazes in the Vulcan, unlocking the gate to the 6th heaven. Like I've said from the beginning, the stars, the heavens, the arcana, they know our fates, but they are fickle with their information. It's up to us to parse it from their hands and use it in a manner that might benefit all mankind. 'Kind. 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 You have my congratulations, Bren. What has taken me more than 15 summers to accomplish you have done, and more in a matter of moons. But our time together has taught me that, despite what we may believe they are, we all have our roles, and each is just as important as the other. Without taking both Cumbrain and you under my wing, you would have never saved Laveva from her assailants. Meaning, in a way, I saved Lady Laveva. Not that I'm one to take all the credit for such heroism. Folded missive. Found on the Charlian Thaumaturge. The cracked seal appears somewhat familiar. Nor shall I take credit for this missive that never would have been discovered were it not for taking you and Cumbrain under my wing. That cold stare. It befits the godforsaken place. Point taken. Let us break the seal and see what we... Why, this handwriting. I've seen it many a time before. It's mine uncle's, but that would mean... It would mean that the highest-ranking Astrologian in all of Ishgard has been attempting to assassinate us. If the tribunal were to hear of it, he would be hanged. And a hanging will only earn us another ill-tempered orthodox Astrologian unwilling to open his eyes to the benefits of our disciple. No, we can use this missive to our advantage. As long as this remains in our hands, so too does the chief Astrologian. Are you saying we use this missive to blackmail the Forlamont? I'm saying we merely grant the chief Astrologian his life in exchange for a little assistance in furthering our just and noble cause. No more, no less. I see. You are quite the devilette, my dear. Very well, I will summon mine uncle to the astroscope. Then we can present him with our offer. Sorry, I keep hearing like a thud outside and I need to... Is there like an animal on the deck? Why would you be up here if there is? I don't see anything. I do see some footprints though, so maybe like a squirrel dashed along and that's what I heard. Alright. Nope. I can warp down the first part. It makes it faster. So, Uncle, explain. And did he intentionally try to draw his nephew away, knowing his nephew would rather party than attend his lessons? Nope, there's another thud. Like, really big thud. Don't see anything over here. Maybe they're throwing stuff off the back deck next door again. Wait for Forlamont at the Observium's astroscope. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be here yet. Jenniquard's lackey. But how would you still... I mean, I haven't the time for idle chatter. Can you not seem a busy man? Okay, it probably wants us up top then. It wants us at the astroscope. Can we please land on the stairs? Why must you insist on pestering me, Jenniquard? I gave you your letter, now leave me be. But that would not be the only letter you have written lately, would it? Perhaps you recall a certain letter to the Forum. A letter carried by a party of less than savory characters who attempted to kidnap Lady Laveva and deliver her to Charlians, not to mention kill me, my manservant, and my good friend Bren here, who you may have forgotten is currently an honored guest of House Fortom. A letter drawn up and signed by none other than you, Nuncle. Oh, but do not presume to misunderstand us. We wish neither your disgrace nor your death, at least not at our hands. In fact, we wish very little from you. Not, you might say, in the sense that we are to never again use your influence to hamper our efforts at spreading Charlian astrology here in Ishgard. Involve yourself no more in the affairs of me or my guests, and your secret remains safe. I will even forgive you for trying to have me murdered, if, that is, you give me your word. It is not as if you left me with much choice. You have my word. But know that silencing me will not make your nonsense any more accepted in the vault. There are others who will see you fall, others who care little whether or not I speak my piece. We're fully aware of the peaks we have left to scale. However, we shall not let this discourage us. I have been shown a path that I altogether plan on walking, and the stars shall guide my way. The stars foretell many things, my dear, and not even the best readers can see them all. Do not forget this. So we have silenced him. But to hear him tell it, he was the least of our worries. Yeah, but better me than someone else is not the best mentality to have. Anyway, we get the Astrologian's attire coffer. But whose attire is it? The stars in our faults, instead of the John Green's The Fault in Our Stars. Okay. I think that's technically going to be the next one, isn't it? Because I got the coffer. I'll look at it, but I won't necessarily accept it. It's almost as if there was a giant exclamation point hovering above his head. I mean, yes, in a sense. Final Fantasy XIV, Astrologian. Sorry, sometimes it's hard for me to tell where things begin and end. I'm just looking at... Witch's Wish. Witch. Spearheading Initiatives. Astrologian Part 1. Charlian Ascending is another 51, so that's probably... Yeah, that's the start of the Heavensward quests, I think. Because we just did this one. We got the attire coffer at 50. Does this unlock? What's this? Astrologian Part 1. New Game Plus. Yeah, that is the unlocking of New Game Plus right there. So Charlian Ascending is going to be the next part. So that is where I will probably begin the live stream version of this once I have reached level 60. And that way I can do it all in one go. Usually with companies. So for now, this is where I'm going to call it, since we have finished the ARR versions of... Well, technically it's not a Realm Reborn, but it is the 1 through 50 ARR-ish versions of the quest. So like and subscribe if you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV, and I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye!